Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, gamer boys and girls, welcome back to the pod. The moment I've been eagerly anticipating has finally arrived. The much awaited game on Steam is now available on my computer, and in a few days it will be accessible to everyone in an early access version. I had the opportunity to try Manor Lords, which was granted by Hooded Horse, the publisher, and I simply can't put it down anymore. The game's graphics and gameplay are exceptional, but what really sets it apart is the hard work and dedication of the game's developer, Slavic Magic, who devoted the last 7 years of his life to creating a game that was previously non-existent. Manor Lords is a one-of-a-kind game that combines various elements from other popular games. It has certain economic aspects similar to Anno 1800, real-time battles that are reminiscent of Total War, and a setting that is similar to Banished. However, the game's uniqueness lies in how all these disparate parts come together to create an entirely new experience that we've never encountered before. The management aspect is the predominant one, as building and managing the towns of Manor Lords isn't a cathartic experience. First of all, it is necessary to build a shed for the woodcutters, because without it you cannot move forward and you can find yourself stuck in a situation with no resources and no way out. A lesson I had to learn. It is the subsequent choices that are much less obvious. Even if now there is only one map, when it comes to each game, the game will start us in a random region in the map where always randomly the fundamental resources will also be distributed. Each resource may be more or less rich, so extending one's territories will become necessary if one of these runs out. The different fertility of the lands will also change. Even starting in the same area, sooner or later it will happen, we will have to plan the village differently based on all of these factors. When you start a new game and when you conquer another region, the area will be colonized by 5 families who will set up a temporary camp made of simple tents with money from the treasury. All the men in the village can be called to arms with one click. What they bring into battle, however, will be decided by the role you decide to give them, and by the equipment present in the city. When you create a battalion, all eligible men will go and get weapons and armor from the warehouse and bring them home ready for use. If these are not present, they will have to make do with basic and natural not very effective tools. To have weapons, we will either have to create them ourselves or import them from the outside, which is, well, obviously the much more expensive choice. To create weapons, we will have to set up an iron mine, build a foundry and specialize a house into blacksmith's workshop. When we give a specialization to a house, the family that lives there will be forever linked to that chosen profession. If we specialize a house in an apple orchard, the inhabitants will take care of the land and most likely build a food stall in the market area. When this happens, the family unit will no longer take care of the village, so it will no longer help with logistics or construct new buildings. This is a very important element because the game certainly puts you in front of various challenges, but one you will always struggle with is the chronic lack of manpower. A problem that becomes worse when, for example, we focus heavily on agriculture, where large fields will require many hands to be plowed and sown in time. The families are all made up of 3 inhabitants. If one member dies, this will be replaced over time by another. At the moment, therefore, there are no children, nor there is any realistic growth of the family unit proposed. It's something I'm kind of missing, as I love this game design element in Banished. And in this context, we must also take into consideration if we enable the specialization of a home, because it is necessary to respect certain standards. To raise chickens and goats, it is enough to purchase the animals, and we can have eggs and milk, but to create more elaborate craftsmanship, houses will have to be raised to a higher level. In Manor Lords, the homes can reach all the way up to the 3rd level, but maybe in the future this could increase, offering even more advanced homes. Speaking of, one of the requirements to level up a house is a good old tavern. To make it go you need beer, and for beer you have to grow barley, which when processed will become malt, which will then be taken to the home of the master brewer. So as you see, agriculture is a very important element of Manor Lords, as is right given the era, and the seasons will influence the progress of the fields as well as the use of resources by the inhabitants. Some sources of supply, such as berries, will refill during the spring, while the winter it will be necessary to use what was harvested in the previous month. You can also rely on trade and bartering. Merchants will travel on foot until there are enough horses in the city, and you can also exchange resources between your villages, as you will be able to build a village in each region of the map, but some things will change depending on the game mode you choose. At the moment, Manor Lords offers 3 different ways to play. The first one, Rise to Prosperity, simply challenges us to reach the rank of Big City and then move on to Endless mode. Then there is Restoring the Peace mode, where to win we will have to conquer all the regions. And finally, there is the On the Edge mode, where we will have to reach maximum status by resisting continuous enemy attacks. My favorite turned out to be the second mode, which allows to have both a good dose of pressure from the enemies and a lot of time available to build many different population centers, ensuring that they support each other. Enemies can be bandits who will occasionally steal from our resources, at least until they are eliminated, and our peers with whom we can also establish diplomatic relations. These opponents will have their own troops and they can be fought, but they will not be physically present with their cities on the map, which is the sad part. But in the end, of course, we should be the one who must build, and it's kind of a bad thing, because I can see that the mechanics are currently under construction. The battles are fun, but the soldiers pile up too easily. But on the other hand, it is possible to issue several orders that we would not have expected to see in a game that focuses on other things. In addition to our men, it is also possible to pay mercenaries to defend the villages, or attack any threats, but be careful, if you don't ensure them the pre-established offering, they could flee at the most critical moments. There's still a lot to say about Manor Lords, but above all, there is still a lot of work to do to define it as a truly complete game. I expect the game to be at least another 6 months in development. It's early access, so I'm not complaining about it, but although Manor Lords is surprisingly stable and full of mechanics, in its current version, several functions still don't have an official name and appear in the interface with their command string, and many of the citizen upgrades are coming soon. Trading is a bit shaky, diplomacy is half-baked, and certain things are not explained well at all. Furthermore, it is not yet possible to build real castles, there is no cavalry or other advanced troops. However, I have to point out that this does not take anything away from the beauty of the game. From a construction system that we could even define as innovative, and capable of giving each village a touch of impeccable realism. All you need are 2 houses and a hut, plus a road that curves up the hill and gets lost in the wood. Even the combat animations are incredibly detailed, far beyond expectations. A beautiful graphic style that goes wonderfully well with this gameplay, that is still under construction but already perfectly framed to contain the exponential growth to which Manor Lords is practically condemned. The potential is therefore enormous, as this is the pressure on what we remember as a team made up essentially of just one person. Manor Lords has without a doubt met and in some cases exceeded my high expectations. The game has a basic form, and it is possible to understand in which direction it wants to and can move. I really can't wait to see how this game will turn out. But before that, I'm cheering on as the game will release into early access on April 26. I really hope you will give this game a chance, because I know it will be a fantastic game given time. But hey, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button to please the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. It's been Galeee, Escape Pod out.